All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one, welcome all to some little late night NDSU Rocket League action. We've got a little something different for you guys tonight. Doing a little Crossbar Conversations with the one and only Sladehunt. How are you doing tonight here?
I am doing all right. It's good to be here, and it's good to see the questions just popping in already.
Yeah. It's very exciting. For those who don't know, this is going to be a little different. This is going to be an interview type stream. So yes, new animation indeed, Shark. But yeah, no, it's been really cool just to see a lot of questions. We're just kind of gonna rewind. We've got a lot to go for. I've got a Word doc just of all sorts of questions. So excuse the mess behind me, ladies and gentlemen. I am obviously home for the summer, and there is a lot of stuff going on in the background. But yeah, I'm just really excited to kind of get into this, and thank you for obviously letting me do this. This was very out of the blue. Just hit you up and said, hey, you want to just do a podcast? And you're just like, yeah, sure, just 2 days and let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, this is gonna be fun. Hopefully this turns out good. We should have fun tonight.
All right, so first question I gotta ask, because I'm just curious myself before we get into the nitty gritty, is how's life? How is the married life? How's the kid?
I mean, being married is Pog. It's the ultimate buff. They'll never get nerfed. Just being able to live with your significant other is pretty dope. And Goober is happy, healthy. We were a little bit worried if he was sick this morning, but he's doing all right. But he's crawling. Yeah. And he's pulling himself up to a stand. It is getting hard. Hence why I'm only getting 3-4 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, how's your sleep schedule nowadays?
It's not great, but I know that my wife Noelle's not getting so much more sleep than me. So yeah. we're both just trying to keep going.
How old's your kid now?
He's 8 months.
Dang, 8 months already crawling full. I guess I don't really know timelines of kids and stuff, but that's crazy.
Yeah, he's insane.
So why don't you do the world a favor and just kind of in like 2 minutes break down who you are and kind of what was your legacy at NDSU.
All right. So I came to NDSU thinking I was going to do engineering. Then I found out that I can't do math, so I decided I was going to go into communication. And I met some really cool people, notably Colin and Mark DeLisi, and we were like, you know what? Let's just start the Rocket League club. And my roommate, one of my best friends from high school, Antonio, we had the game Rocket League, and we're like, screw it, dude. Let's just start a team. Let's just see what we can do. And then Colin took kind of like the spearhead of trying to get us, like, we were going for the free athlete shoes. But then as we kind of progressed past our freshman year, like, Colin went on to do like NRHH. I went on to be an RA for a little bit. And I think my legacy is probably best known now as the NEC Rocket League president. That's not the first one. That's not what I thought it was going to be. But that's all because, like, y'all have grown the team so much more than I was capable of, and that any one of us three at the very true beginning, our freshman year, were capable of.
So then, kind of going into, I got a question here. is when you were, making the club and the team and stuff. Obviously, you guys were, basically SSLs at this point. But what was what was your long-term goal, like in making the team? Was it just like, hey, we just want to play a video game together? Was it, we're gonna plan craziness, or just like, what was the end goal?
I was the only person who actually enjoyed playing the game, so
that makes total
we kind of let
sense.
that. Yeah, but Colin didn't have the game, and at that point, it wasn't free to play. So Colin bought the game. Colin and Boy were like bronze. I was high gold at the time, almost plat. And our goal was to just try to see if we could finesse our way to get like free NDSU merch without actually being competitive or doing anything. It didn't work, but the club became so much more than that. So that is way better than our original goal.
I mean, just saying, you are getting merch, right? I think you've bought stuff at least a little bit. I know you got a jersey. Which fun fact, everyone, the jerseys arrived to my apartment about an hour and a half ago. So we will be getting those out, eventually. Obviously, I'll get right to that, not even in Fargo right now, but it is on the bucket list. So jerseys are here, so be very exciting. But anyways, continue, please.
Yeah, I mean, we started out with kind of a shallow goal, not really knowing how we'd be able to pull it off. But I think after we realized that it was going to be a lot harder to get the free athlete shoes, I was like, you know what? Let's just kind of full send and like try to find people who actually like playing the game, and let's kind of build and try to foster a community. We all knew that we weren't going to be the ones to like be able to truly make the team fantastic, but we also knew that if we didn't start the team, who else was going to?
Yeah.
So we just needed to get that traction going.
You guys definitely laid the groundwork. Like, I know, like when I joined, I remember specifically I emailed you, and it's just like, hey, I like playing this game. I want to join. And you pretty much emailed me back and says, cool, I'm really bad at the game. We don't really do much, but it's technically a group. And at that point, I think the twins, Mark and Colin, were kind of gone doing their own thing. So like when I joined, it was literally just like, you're the president, and then here's a group of like 10 of us that like playing this game. And I was just like, this is awesome. This is the coolest thing in the world. And then obviously it's, grown just a wee bit from there. But I just remember like that was the coolest thing, is joining a club for an esports. I was just like, this is going to be amazing. Imagine what could happen. So yeah, the groundwork you guys put is it's needed to happen. Someone needed to do it, and I'm just very glad you guys did.
Yeah, and like just like that first like in-person meeting when we had like enough people to like have a meeting where it wasn't just like Colin, Boy, and I hanging out at the Residence Dining Center or something. Like, oh, that's a club meeting. For us to actually like reserve a room, like reserve the cater media room for a meeting, so we could have, oh man, like we had like, I think Saitama was there. I mean, obviously we had Trey there. I'm trying to think of all the faces that we had. Like
there wasn't a lot at that point.
Such a no, it was not. It was such a small meeting, and like everybody was super awkward. But I was like, hey, this is kind of just a meet and greet, like, and a discussion, like, where does everybody want the team to go? Because we don't really know what we're doing, but we know that we have connections inside the university to make things happen a little bit. So we use those as much as we can, to really like to set up, like, we set up a freaking bank account. Like, I have like an expired credit card that on it says NDSU Rocket League team or whatever it was. like we
You
did
guys,
like
for kind of
dumb stuff.
going on that, you guys, so each club at NDSU gets $50 like to start. Like the university just gives you $50 and it's like, here you go. That account went untouched for like 3 years, and that $50 just sat there, which obviously now we've grown to a lot more than that. But it's just like, I remember when Trey took over and we were doing some other stuff, and it's like, hey, we have a bank account, and Trey and I are just like, what? It's like, yeah, there's $50 on it, by the way. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? What? So that was a little, bit of a shock for me. Actual question for you. I know we technically have an advisor that's like, in charge of the club or something like that, or like you have to like get an advisor on board. Do you remember who it is, or have you ever met them? Because I don't know either of those.
I think we got our freshman year hall director, who no longer works at NESU. If the advisor is still Josh Partially, yeah, he does not work there. I don't know who they are anymore.
Like I said, I have like when I took over, no one knows who they are. We don't have like an advisor in charge. We're just kind of doing our own thing, which is great.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the agreement to get like we asked as many teachers, people that we knew. We're like, would you do this? And they're like, is there work for us to do? Like, no. Like, we'll manage it. They're like, well, then I'm not really interested. How big is the group? I'm like, well, it's just this. We're not really like that big and serious right now, but we're trying to be. Like, it sounds like too much work. And I was just like, dude, we're literally like, it's just. Like,
it's literally just like you have to have it sign off. You don't actually need to do any work. You just need someone to say, yes, I'll manage it. Which I mean, clearly, look at us now. No one has ever managed us or done anything at all. Yeah. Like, it's been just us. Yeah.
And now it's probably the biggest esports group on campus.
So it is. I mean, we are bigger than League of Legends as far as like players. I think Discord wise, they have us beat by like 10 people, but given what our plan is in the next 6 months, we are going to blow by them. But yeah, as far as like active members, we are bigger than them. So getting into my next question though, is when did you start playing Rocket League and why? Like, was it someone got you into it? Did you just pick up the game, or what started it all for you?
So it started back on PlayStation 3 with a little-known game called Supersonic Acrobatic Rocket.
You actually played SARPC?
Oh yeah, dude. We were me and my friends. We were all like on the football team for our high school, John Marshall. And after like morning summer practices, we would just come to my house. We'd mess around. We'd play 4-player split screen SARP. And we'd just have fun. Like, we'd be eating like these so Gatorade awesome protein bars, and we'd just be vibing. And like eventually we like upgraded to PS4s, and somebody was like, hey, you know that crappy little car soccer game we used to play on the PS3? I'm like, well, wasn't that crappy? I enjoyed it. It has a sequel called Rocket League. I'm like, no shot. So we got it, and like everybody was playing with camera shake on, because like if you played the old SARP, the camera was terrible. Like, I went back and played it not too long ago, and it was just dog. Like, the camera is like, it's just not that great of a game quality compared to Rocket League. But like once we started with Rocket League, we're like, oh man, the camera's shaking when the goal explodes. Like, it feels so real. Obviously we don't have camera shake on. We're not those people anymore. We have so much fun with the game. But yeah, that's where it really started. It started, oh god, how many years ago was that? Probably like 8 or 9.
Damn.
And then once we upgraded to PS4s, which I couldn't tell you when that was, that's when we kind of started playing Rocket League.
So then, how much Rocket League are you playing like now? Is it just kind of, I mean, obviously you got a wife, you got a kid, probably not a lot, but what's your daily grind routine? If not weekly or monthly, I guess.
I would say it's tentatively weekly. Last season, I didn't. I think the highest rewards I got was silver. That shows you just how much I played. But this new season, I like the Rocket Pass card, the Maestro. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to roll up in a Bentley for sure. So I've been playing a bit more. I've been really into Smite lately, but those games take a long time. And if I'm alone with the Mr. Man, it's super tough because like Rocket League, small bite-sized games, and if I'm just playing ones, I'll just leave.
Yeah.
So I've been able to play some more, but it's like a weekly. Like I'll get like 15 games a weekend, maybe.
All right. Hey, that's honestly just about as much as I'm doing right now with how busy I've been. Are you arrow right or arrow left?
Left, because I use it on my left stick when I do the half flip back. Although when I just use the L1 arrow, I don't really know. I don't really arrow a whole lot because I end up screwing myself. Fair
enough. All right, so we're gonna kind of move on to some other questions. We got some good ones, but first, I'm actually really curious. Are you still in contact with the twins, or when's the last time you talked to them?
We definitely don't talk every day. They went to my wedding, so that was pretty cool. And I'll be actually going to Colin's wedding next month. But yeah, we chat. They all wish me a happy Father's Day. So I guess that would be the last time we chatted. The last time we had an actual conversation over text was probably a week ago. But it's definitely, we don't talk nearly as much as we would like to. Yeah. But life is just busy. So
are they aware of how much the club has blown up at all? I think one of the twins came into a chat maybe 6 months ago. But I know that's about all. I mean, I've met one of them. I think it was Mark. I had a class with him, and I would see him at the gym all the time. But I don't even know if I've ever met Colin potentially. But I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
They're identical twins. If you guys don't know.
Yeah, and if you haven't spent a whole lot of time with them, you'll never be able to tell them apart.
Nope.
But oh my goodness. I just I think Colin is slightly aware of how much the club has grown. I don't think Mark has any idea. But I don't think Colin really understands too much either. Just he's just probably checked it more recently.
I gotcha. Shark was asking, what's the highest rank you've hit and how long ago?
Oof. It was.
I know you definitely got champ.
Probably
champ 1, champ 2.
Yeah, I peaked champ 1 div 3 or 4. That was probably.
That was when you were with.
Probably
Heat.
A year ago.
That was when you were with Heat. So yeah, literally last summer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. It was ironic that the best of the highest rank I've ever hit. While playing individually, I had probably the highest, the best skill person I've played with in the league to that point. Love Royal, love Megalodon, but he was just built different.
Heat is annoyingly built different, and I think it's pretty clear. He's the best so far player we've had in the club, which makes it nice and easy to win. I guess Heat's done so far okay in his seasons afterwards. But all right, so we got some more questions. One easy one we can get out of the way is are you going to be going to LAN in December for us? And when are you coming?
If you guys send me the dates
December
and
3rd and
locations.
4th. December 3rd and 4th, Memorial Union.
Okay. I mean, Okay, I'll write it down. I'll talk with my wife, and maybe we can make something happen.
I mean,
I can't confirm or deny.
I mean,
I'd be sick to go though.
I was gonna say, you want to talk about see the fruits of your labor. Yeah, pretty dang cool. In my unbiased opinion, I think it'd be pretty cool. Of course, unbiased. But yeah, it's just insane to see how big it's grown. All right, next question. This is a little bit of a unique one. Is what do you feel is the biggest thing you accomplished during your presidency besides creating the whole thing?
So obviously it was creating, but I think the biggest thing that I accomplished was giving Dunk mod on Discord so he could essentially make the weekly league. and that has become so much fun. Like, just the weekly league is probably the best thing that happened during my presidency of the team. It's just so fun, and making other people, like, besides the original 3 mods, it was so important because, like, y'all know what you're doing, y'all have better ideas. I was like, man, it'd be cool, but, like, do we have the people for that? And then Dunk just made it happen.
Well, I think that's a lot of what it is like, I remember when we first starting, I would say I was a part of the first weekly league. I ended up winning the first weekly league ever. And it was just like, oh my God, we had so many ideas and talks with Paul, who was our original caster for it. And it's just like, we have so many great ideas on what we could do, but nobody knows how the hell to do it. So we just sat, toying with ideas for literally 2 years. And now within the last year, we're actually implementing it because we actually have the people / actually kind of know what we're doing, sort of. But yeah, it just wasn't an option back then.
Yeah, well, and now, like, the team has that cred. Like, it's, like, for you guys to be able to, like, do what you're going to be doing with this upcoming season, that's going to be sick. That was, that was just, like, a pipe dream for a long time, but I was like, man, how would I even, like, get... Like, I was trying to figure out when it was, like, when the competitive team was Trey... Saitama and like Megalodon and Royal. I was trying to figure out how do I get these guys in a league or something? Like,
nothing existed.
What do I do?
North Dakota and South Dakota esports didn't exist back then, which is why exactly I'm doing what I'm doing. But yeah, no, there was just nothing there. And I remember, like, because I ended up getting like on the quote unquote competitive team. And I remember it was like, oh, like, what do you guys compete in? And there was just like silence. It's like, oh, we do CRL. I'm like, oh, what's that? It's like, oh, it's like a professional like college thing, and we never go past like the first round, but like it's fun. I'm like, oh, how fun is that? They're like, oh, it's like once a semester. I'm like, oh, what else? And it was just, again, it's just like there wasn't anything because there was no structure, there was no support. Which, again, starting out, it's just the growing pains that you have.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, like who knew that starting an esports team was actually going to take like work? It was work that I was like happy to like try to do. I was like, oh crap, This is no longer just like 3 guys just vibing, like pretending to compete so we can get like shoes. This is like real. And I was like, man, like once it started to turn into a real community, I was like, okay, this is awesome. I'm going to do everything I can to support, but I'm also going to let them know realistically I'm not going to understand all of what I'm doing, but I sure as hell am going to try.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of like where I'm, at a weird situation in life. It's just like, I've got, let's say, like a year left roughly. It's just like, so as soon as this DCRL thing is like happening and, we have a LAN and everything blows up, it's like, bye guys. Everything, it's just like, have fun. Someone else has to take over. Someone else has to do it. So I think like, you had your legacy. I think, like, for me, it's just going to be making all these connections, networking a shit ton. Like, for example, I have drinks this week with some esports event coordinators from Minnesota and Wisconsin and Iowa in the Twin Cities that have all run LANs before. And literally, they just ran, if any of you guys saw, Brad ended up playing the Minnesota Championship Series, ended up talking to the guys that ran that LAN. Turns out I'm having drinks because they're very interested in what, we're doing with DCRL. Turns out they're doing exactly that in Wisconsin and in Minnesota. So who knows what happens in the future if you can just combine and make it even bigger. But it's just all networking. But then it's like, well, what happens when I leave? I don't know. That terrifies me, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Like, I was getting like interview requests with like the newspaper.
Oh, yeah, you got one. I remember watching that.
And I was on the news, like I was like, man, if I don't do this, like at the time, I was like, fuck, the rest of our club is super awkward. Like I love the guys, but like none of them at the time developed into like having those people skills yet. And I was like, you guys, you gotta like these people don't want to just hear about the game because they don't care. They don't understand. They want to just like hear some.
They want to hear
like
cheesy.
BS talk.
It's family.
Yeah.
It really made me come out of my shell. It's such a community. Keywords, inclusive. Everyone's happy. No one cares about the actual game. It's just, oh, you created an esport and there's a cool niche. This is cool.
Yeah, it was the flavor of the second, but I'll never forget going to one of my communications classes. And I was like already one of the teacher's favorites because I was scoring super high on the tests, and I was like one of the only people who talked during lecture because I actually enjoyed my comm classes. Mm-hmm. And somebody was like, "Oh, hey, Hunter was on the NDSU front page." And I was like, "Oh shit." And then they like go through the article, and he's like, "Wow, man, if anybody else makes the paper, I'll show them in class, but I've never had a student do that before, so y'all need to step it up." I was like this teacher was a savage.
Like trying to like put your head down, just like,
oh man, yeah, like the teacher, he was great, but like. Yeah, it was like, oh man, if I already didn't have a target on my back,
now you really
like
got it.
he was already saying, well, these are the top like 5 test scores. Be in a study group with these people. So like people were just lining up, and I'm like, honestly, no. At the time, I was like, my study group was me and this one girl. I was like, so it's like, really interested.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, I know now we had, a interview like April or whatever it was, and that was kind of weird to say the least. I know we had Trey actually just did an interview a couple weeks ago, which I don't think has come out yet. He might correct me if I'm wrong, but like that's coming out soon. We've made the newsletter. We got featured as the club of the month for NDSU, and it's just blowing up. And especially now with, the new esports lab coming and everything we're doing for this, fall semester, it's only going to grow that much more. And we're actually going to be like, recognized on campus more as like a bigger club, because we are a bigger club on campus.
Yeah, for sure. Like when we started, we weren't even like a small club after like a year and a half even, which was kind of crazy. But I know that, like, being a part of a club was, like, being a part of other clubs was, like, the most fun I've had at school. So, like, making one for Rocket League was sick. And to now see, it's just huge. Because, oh, man, we got, like, probably, like, 1% to 2% of the entire campus is in that group at least. Like, like that's kind of like, I'm not sure what the breakdown is, but like, if you look at it, like this is a state school. That's like actually like a lot of people. That's yeah, it's insane to see like that. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's nuts. And like this many people, whether they're active or not, or they play in the league or not, they're involved in some capacity, and that's just crazy to me.
Yeah, and it's definitely a numbers game. Also, Stewie, appreciate the tier ones, my dude. Thank you for coming back to little crossbar conversations here. But no, it's growing so much, and obviously, I mean, everyone's a part of it. It's gotten to the point, where I've had a lot of late night talks with Dunk. When at the point of like Dunk, if you guys don't know, pretty much he had one weekly league season that he ran by himself, and that was him doing everything. And I had last summer, that weekly league, I ran by myself, everything. And it sucks. I can say from experience, it sucks. And you have to have a team. You have to have support. And you look at, last season, it was Trey Greek and I running everything. And I think we managed, pretty well, divvying up everything. But it's just, it's getting to the point / it's already gotten to the point that us three, we just can't do it. It's not possible, which is why, we added more people. We have a group of 9 of us who are in charge of everything. I mean, obviously you got, your pres, vice pres, and treasurer making like the higher up decisions, but as far as like getting ready for the LAN and stuff, like there is so much that has to happen, which we've already been in talks with Paul, who's the coordinator of the Memorial Union. We've been in talks with him a lot. I email him on a weekly basis, been in talks with other people. They're hiring an esports director. There's so much stuff that's gonna happen. And it's exciting that we now have the support to make it happen, because, I know this was like a dream for you. It's also a dream for me. It's crazy. It's just now I'm fortunate that I had what you didn't have, which was the structure and the support of people willing to help. Because that's the biggest thing. I couldn't do this on my own. You couldn't do this on your own. It's just, you need help, and I'm fortunate that we finally have that.
Yeah, having support from the universities is huge. Like I knew that we would almost have support from the university when Paul, different Paul than the one we had casting, just to clarify that one. When Paul invited Colin, Mark, Boy, and we might have even had like a couple more of our, like, essentially our roommates, our best friends, like, join us. And like there was just the League of Legends president there and us, and like the Memorial Union coordinator, this guy who ran this I don't know. I think at the time I felt like it was a sham branding deal, like Aurora Gaming. He wanted to brand all NDSU esports under Aurora. I thought it was all bullshit. But like he had like all of us in the room, and they're like, so here's the blueprints for the esports lab. What do you think? We're like, this is sick. But we also were thinking, like, where the hell is it going to be? And
hey, we got a kitchen in the back. It'll go over there.
Yeah, it was... the first one was just like, all right, we have it. Nice. But, like, we didn't know how to practically use it. We still didn't, like, have that many people. And we had virtually no means. And we weren't going to get support because, like, they were like, well, we want you guys to pay for, like, going in there. It's like I don't know. We're like the people who are like supposed to like publicize this. Like, are you guys kidding me? So that's why we kind of just didn't use it. It's like we have setups of our own.
Ooh,
like, why the
trust me. You are opening a can of worms about paying for it, dude. That is my number one thing I am working on right now, is getting it to be free. Period. Like it needs to be free. I promise you, I've talked to so many esports directors, so many players at so many different schools, Minnesota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, North Dakota. Everywhere is free. We are the only single school that I've talked to out of probably like 20 something schools at this point that has to pay for it. And it terrifies me that if they dump, the $500,000 into putting 30 PCs, and they're going to have 12 switches and like 4 PlayStations, 4 Xboxes, they're going to have teaching like area, they're going to have whiteboards, they're going to have a lounge area, they're going to have a broadcasting room. If we have to pay for that, people are not going to go, myself included. I am probably the number one advocate for this, considering that I helped make this happen. I had to give presentations in front of student senate and student government. I had to push so many people, and I'm not going to use it. If I have to pay for it, no way in hell I'm using it. You want to talk about like just a little quick math here. Let's just say, the NDSU team, top 3 guys are going to practice, right? We gotta play. We gotta practice together. Okay. Let's say we do 6 hours a week. That's it. Just 6 hours a week of practice. It's like $5 an hour. Okay. $30 a week. Cool. So you're looking at $120 a month. Times that by 3. You're looking at $360 a month. You're looking at then throughout a semester, we have to pay around $1,400 to play a free game that we already have really nice setups that are better than the ones NDSU has. When you bring numbers like that, I think they do understand like, oh, this is idiotic. And it's like, oh, well, you can then pay like $150 for a semester pass. It's like, okay, but you're missing the point. I'm still not going to pay $150 to hike across campus to play a free game. It's just not going to happen. So I am imploring them to do it, and I'm actually having a couple people talk to Paul specifically about that. Other esports directors, I'm having talked to them about it. Say, hey, this has to be this way, otherwise it's just not gonna go well. I mean, Smegalon literally just said in chat, go on strike, and it's like, I don't know what else to do, because coming from a student perspective, I talk a lot. I tell Paul a lot of things that I want. I want this. We should do this. I want this. So to add one more I want, I feel like kind of falls on deaf ears. So that's why I'm having other people with more credentials, actual esports directors, tell them that, because I truly think if students have to pay, I think it will fail. Period.
That's why the first one failed. that was one of the things we advocated for. Like they were like, well, you're gonna have to pay to like be in there. I was like, well, aren't we gonna have like free practice hours?
Nope.
They're like, nope, you have to pay. And I was like, okay, all right.
No one's gonna use it, and
they never saw us.
No one used it. And it's like, I have been there once. I don't know about you. I used it once total, and that was because we did a little like Rocket League meet and greet thing where we had like 15, 20 guys go there, and we just all played Rocket League, and it was a lot of fun, and we all had to pay, and that part sucked. So
yeah, well, there was one like when like the bowling nights were free. There were some times where the lab was free to go into, so like we would just like play Rocket League or play Smite there, both free games on these PCs that were like way better than the setups that we had, because we were all on console. But it's like, yeah, we're just gonna mess around, we're just gonna vibe. But like, if we're going out of our way to play a game we already play, we already have copious amounts of hours in these. That was, yeah. I know we opened a can of worms. But like,
it's true that that's what this is about. This is like, sometimes you gotta rant because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
No one's gonna play.
It is.
It's just, it is.
Yeah,
so,
and I mean, like, yeah, that was a huge thing that we were like, oh, I mean, awesome. We got to see the blueprints. That doesn't inspire me to pay $5, or it was at the time it was like $3 an hour.
Yeah, sorry. I think it is like $4 an hour now. But point being, I'm not paying hundreds of dollars a month to play a free game.
And you shouldn't be expected to. And the hours of the lab, like, honestly, if it's not going to be 24/7, then like, what?
Ooh, that's one thing is they're looking at new hours. They're looking at actually doing like potential key cards, because a lot of times, like, hour wise, it'll be like, oh yeah, the union closes at 8. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. A lot of people start gaming at 8 and will go to, late in the hour. So they're saying they're potentially going to do like, oh, we'll keep it open till like midnight or 1 o'clock, and you just have to use a key card. And obviously they'll have like cameras and stuff for security. I'm just like, that's a fantastic idea. Obviously, maybe don't have it open 24/7 just because that would be difficult, but have it go later hours, because that's when it's going to get used a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, those nights where everybody was like going to the union because it was like free to do all the stuff in it. Like those nights where the esports lab was like free and late at night. Like we weren't the only, like there came a point where we weren't the only people in the lab. We didn't know who else was there, but there were other people trying it, which was huge. yeah. Oh man, I think we can probably conclude that rant with the fact that the NESU Rocket League team should not have to pay to play the game that they already play
The one thing I'll say
somewhere
is
else.
students should not have to pay, and if it's open to the public, make them pay. Absolutely, that makes sense. But it should be included under student fees, just like the library, just like the gym. It should be no different. But jumping to a completely different question, we'll get this one out quickly. Is Shark asks, what are your thoughts on RLCS and the lands in London and Dallas? Like, do you watch any RLCS? Are you excited for the upcoming lands, or are you pretty lost on the pro scene?
I have not had the time nor dedication to follow the pro scene.
What are you saying? You're like busy with
since
a wife or kid or something?
it's crazy, man. Yeah, since like the G2 roster was Chicago, Rizzo, and JNAPS. Like, it was. I mean, it's been a hot minute since
Did you have a favorite team, or was that your favorite team?
It was always between G2 and Energy, obviously, like the two top American teams. But like
Cloud9,
Rizzo,
Cloud9, hello,
bro. No. but it was G2 for me. But if I had to pick like a European team at the time,
don't say Dignitas, please. Don't say Dignitas.
No, dude, it was Renault Vitality.
Yes.
I enjoyed watching Fairy Peak,
Scrub, and K-Dop.
God, K-Dop is a fucking mongrel. He's so good. But like that's like the last time I followed RLCS like intensely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm glad that they're actually like returning to the LAN format. I think it's so important for games to like have that LAN format. Like Smite is a pro scene that I'm following a lot more. They have like their pro league. Everybody is in Atlanta, Georgia, and everybody plays their weekly games in LAN.
Yeah.
And then they have like the Masters LANs, and they'll have like the World Championship. But like everybody is on site already.
That's crazy.
Like that, it's not something you could probably do with Rocket League, but that's just because the games are like 5 to 10 minutes, and Smite games are like 30 to an hour.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, I think returning to the LAN format is huge.
Which I don't know if you knew this, but there are 8 people in this Discord actually going to Worlds in Dallas, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah,
myself and Shark are one of those, so I'm so excited for that.
That will be awesome. That was always like one thing when I was following the pro scene. I was like, it'd be so cool to like go to a LAN. It's like, it's not in the means right now, but I mean, Rocket League's here to stay.
That's why I'm bringing LAN to you in Fargo, so I'm making it easy for you.
Sounds good. I would love to go, and I'm certainly interested. Yeah, it'd be sick.
Where are you living nowadays? Even
just see me there. Back in the town I grew up in Rochester. Working at Mayo Clinic.
Oh yeah, that's like a 7-hour drive to Fargo. 6-hour drive to Fargo.
Like 5.5, 5. If you're on 94 and you don't see any cops, it's like 4.5.
There you go.
But yeah, if it's like a heavy travel weekend, it's 5.5.
Worth it, of course. Of course, it's worth it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. We're gonna move on. We got some more questions to go. This one's gonna be out of left field. That was asked. I don't remember who was it by. I'm gonna find it just to make sure that no one thinks it was. It was Whirl actually asked. What was your first impression of Trey and K-Tool? You can roast them. You can roast us if you want. I encourage it.
So Trey, Trey, for me was this guy. I was like, man, this guy he's got a lot of rage built inside of him. I do not want to set him off. Now he is so mellow, but he was so high strung when I met him, and like I'm sure not everybody in chat's seen the clip, but like the infamous Blood in the Water triple demo in twos goal that he had, he was so pissed off.
God, we love
That
you, Trey,
was-
but that is honestly, I think, my favorite clip ever in the history of NDC Rocket League, for sure.
100%. It's that one's the best one, and then another one that's up there is does dunk 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 dunk.
Both
That one's
Trey.
great too.
One of them's a little more
Trey-
PG friendly than the other.
Yeah. Trey used to like immediately once I met him, I was like, okay, this guy probably rages. He probably has like 5 extra keyboards because he breaks a couple a night. But my first impression of you, K2, I was like, man, this guy needs to like
Stop
calm
talking.
down on the ego. like, dude, pipe down. Like, I get it. You're better than me at the game. Like, simmer down, dude. It's not that deep. But like, yeah, I mean, you've mellowed out too, and now we've gotten people who Heat Assassin, I think, humbled everybody.
Yeah,
I think
that
he's probably at the point. He's at the point where he needs to be humbled. But I mean, like, your tune kind of changed once. Like the meta of the weekly league has been the same since Sam and I were fighting for top demos in the league, because the entire meta shifted. Everybody had to shift to play more demos. Just because if they didn't get demos to combat, they were just going to end up being tilted and dead the whole time.
Kind of jumping on that. It's like, for anyone who doesn't know, a lot of what the weekly league was is you'd have a higher level player and a lower level player versus a higher level and a lower level player. So if the lower level player on one team could demo the higher level player of the other team, almost always it was a free goal. And so that's what it turned into. The best teams were the ones that could demo the best. That's why Sam was so successful. You were so successful. Jaden has been so successful. Demos are the way to go. And it's just, and until we added, these divisions, I think it definitely did shift the meta. But how it was just, if you don't dodge demos, it's literally just game over. And it was so tilting. And it's like, you look at your name right now, Sladehunt asshole who demos. It's like, yeah, it's successful for a reason.
Yeah. One of the most coveted end of season rewards was the Demo King.
You and Sam fighting for that was great.
It was crazy to see, like, week after week. Like, it was like by like week 7, we each were over the 100 mark, and it was like
ridiculous.
Holy shit!
Like,
Everybody hated playing either of us. And then there was a time where
sucked.
Royal, Sam, and I were on the same team, and nobody wanted to play us.
No.
We did not win a lot of games because Sam and I would just abandon Royal on offense and go for demos.
Just go for demos.
But like,
It's great. You want to talk about scared for your life though? My God, we had to run around on head cut off. It's ridiculous. Or even you look at last season, for threes, I was just like, oh, this is really cool. I've got 60 demos. I'm in second place. No one else has above 50. And then Jaden's 175 demos. And I'm just he was on another level, because literally Heat and Wannabe would just go crazy and their offense was unbelievable. And Jaden would just demo. And it was not fun for anyone except those three.
And I would play a lot of ones when I was playing the weekly league, and I would use ones as practice for demos.
Yeah.
Just because if you've ever played ones and you got demoed in ones, you just know that's basically a free goal. Well, if you do it enough, the other person just leaves the match. So you end up boosting your ones rank just because you're pissing people off. And it was kind of that way in the league, except instead of leaving the match, they would play it through, but then they would just be the quick exit, 0 GGs. I always loved doing that.
Yeah.
That's where I got my joy.
Yo, we got Hemingway in chat. Hello? I haven't seen Hemingway in here for a long time. But yeah, Hemingway, we've got a bunch of us going to Dallas. It's myself, Trey, Sharkbite's going kind of in a different group, but we'll probably meet him down there. Ranny, I'm actually going to meet Ranny for the very first time in Dallas. He and I have been playing together for 4.5 years, and I'll finally meet him. And then a new guy, CRJ Pumpkin, who actually goes to South Dakota School of Mines. Going to meet him down there, as well as Silk is going to be down there, and Zarch is going to be down there. So very, very exciting to experience the first LAN ever. But all right, I think we're going to move on to the next question here, which we got kind of 3 ones that tie in really, really well. So first one is going to be, what is your favorite change that you've seen in the club since you first founded it?
I mean, I think the start of the weekly league really got it to the point where, okay, we have enough people. Let's start experimenting. And that I think, well, that I think was just the most fun, and it was the best change because, like, it just got the most traction, and it started lifting the burden from Colin and I trying to figure out, well, how the heck do we do anything? Well, now we can put it in the hands of the people who are actually like playing this competitively. Like I'll participate in the league and we'll handle the university side of things, but like in terms of the in-team stuff, we never really had anybody for that. We didn't know how to do it. We just had a crappily run Discord server. I think that was I think that is kind of what set it in motion to become this huge team that we are right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest help was getting people who were, for lack of better word, kind of obsessed with this game, a lot more than you and the Twins were. It's like, yeah, if someone plays, 10 times as much as you guys are playing, they're probably going to be more invested and maybe have some, more knowledge on the game and how to potentially grow it.
Absolutely. That's why when Dunk asked if he could run the Discord, I was like, that's a no-brainer. Of course.
Of course, someone else do it. Okay, so kind of leading into the next question then is, what do you think is the number one thing that has caused the biggest growth in our Discord club, whatever you want to call it?
I mean, it's got to be whatever the hell you guys are doing. The first initial jump was the fact that we were both on the news and in the front page of NDSU at the same time. Like, that got a bunch of people interested. But yeah, I mean, whatever you guys are doing, and like the branching out to like include other universities too, and like the couple like sections that we've had. I mean, like, I had a buddy who went to Winona State, so like made a Winona State channel, and it's just like, that was kind of the biggest stuff like under my watch. But like, yeah, what you guys are doing to grow the team is, I mean, you guys making it huge.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I think what it is, and I'm going to try to figure out how to word this correctly, is we needed someone with connections was kind of the biggest thing. It's like, yeah, we can talk the talk a lot, but it's like, okay, well, who do we talk to? And then Noah had an answer. And I think it really helped because I had a lot of connections for soccer. It's like, I knew who to go to for a lot of the club stuff. I knew how to advertise because we had to advertise for soccer. I knew how to get the flyers. I knew, how to get like merchandise. I knew who we went through for that. So it was literally just copying the same people that we used for the soccer club and using them for the Rocket League club. And I think like when we advertised, like we email blasted, we grew so much. It was insane. Literally within like 24 hours, we had like 30 new people joining the Discord. It's honestly crazy. It's responsible for every single person joining the club. And individually, before I joined, people joined because of me. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah, we figured out how to do like email blast once, and then we were like, didn't really work. We'll try something else. But yeah, if you guys can get on those like, email blasts consistently and like
we're planning on doing one per semester basically, which is what we did last year. So now it's going to be doing kind of the same thing this year. We're planning on doing stuff because like we're planning on like releasing DCRL as a whole within the next couple weeks. Like we have the Discord like ready to go. It's set up. We just need release it to everyone. We're working on a website, which is going to have basically all of like our Google Docs stuff and Google Sheets. We're just going to have that all condensed in a website for people to look at. So we're going to be email blasting. We're going to be spamming everyone, as well as every other university, like everyone in North and South Dakota. We're going to have all these colleges. They're going to be spamming everyone. So it's very, very exciting. So kind of going into my next question is, what are you most excited for the future of this organization?
I mean, it's got to be short term. It's got to be DCRL. Long term, it's got to be NDSU having consistent competitiveness to get into CRL. I think that would be sick. But DCRL is, that's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to like tune into streams and watch. I just see like community of every school that's participating. I can't wait to see you guys just dominate it. But I can't wait to just watch it and see like, wow, this is like, I feel like it has the potential to really create a cult following. And then it is seeing the trajectory of where we've gone from internal to like what you guys are doing now with DCRL. It's very clear to see where the next step it would be, like doing it like regionally, and then like it's clear to see where you guys can go, so long as it works, and I can't wait to watch you guys pull it off.
Yeah. The nice thing about it is, I don't want to say it's kind of foolproof in a way, just in the sense of worst case scenario, not a single other student from a single other college joins. Okay, well, we still have our in-house thing, which we just had 50 people, last time. So we'll just have that again. And NDCU's already blocked off everything for LAN for us. So LAN's happening regardless if anyone else shows up. So it's kind of nice that like no matter what, we're gonna have a LAN experience. It's just now how many people can we get from other colleges and universities and stuff. And kind of like you said, next step is potentially regionally, which like I mentioned earlier, I'm meeting with some people from Minnesota, Iowa, and Wisconsin that are basically doing exactly what we're doing, except at a higher level, that are actually paid to be esports event coordinators and actually running these LANs and esports directors that they're like at Madison. And it's like, that's a big deal. And so I ended up, talking to them, and they're just like, oh, that's cool. What's going on in the Dakotas? And I'm just like, I'd love to tell you about it. And they're just like, well, come out to drinks. So again, networking. And it's just, it's trying to be ready for the next step, because assuming DCRL goes well, we have a great LAN, lots of people from the North and South Dakota join. Cool. How do we make it bigger? How do we make it better? Well, I don't know, but hopefully they'll be able to, fill in some gaps on there.
Yeah, well, and even like having those connections, like one of them like might see the success and it's like, hey, you know what? We'll see if we can get some other schools involved. Like it's those like little things. Like the networking is probably the most fun part of like running the team, because you really never know who you're gonna meet and like how they're gonna affect the team. Like Paul, like that was like the caster Paul. That was fun, and like there's the one other caster friend that he had, or the one guy who wanted to cast, and that it was fun to meme on them both that season. But you just never know what you're gonna get when you do network. So it's always fun to just see it kind of like pay off in a way, but also just oh, heal Drake. Oh my god. Royal's doing some spinny things.
We don't talk about that name here. All right. It was Paul and friends. All right. We'll just leave it at that. But no, it's interesting, like connections and stuff. Like Andy was the person who ended up running the LAN in South Dakota, that we recently attended. Which I don't know if you ever saw kind of like how that went, or like, like the vlog videos or like that type of stuff. But he's gonna be at that LAN. His school is gonna be participating, and so it's like talking to him, basically just talking to a bunch of people who have run LANs and be just like, how the hell do you do this? Because I don't know. We're going in so blind. So it's like as much preparation as we can do, as much as we plan at NDSU for the club, at the end of the day, we are still students. We still have jobs. We have, full-time, classes. We can't run the actual event. We will need someone. We will need an event coordinator. We will need AV specialists. We will need people to run stage, to run lights, to run sound. That's where we're going to need NDSU support. And what I didn't even realize is, for a lot of the other LANs off-site, they have to pay for all those people, for all that extra stuff. But because it's on campus, NDSU has people dedicated already to that job. So it's just being like, hey, this week, this is your job. And we as a club won't have to pay for that, which is huge. So as far as money goes, this should be a lot cheaper than a normal LAN like off-site.
Yeah, it should be super fun, and yeah, it'll be awesome to see like the framework of like hosting your own LAN, and like figuring out like, okay, what worked really well, what didn't work, like just like going back and like assessing what just happened. That'll be so much fun too. Like those conversations will be great. Like the entire thing will be, it'll just be so much fun. But it's a lot of work to get to that point.
Hence why we started doing all this back in May, and have been continued doing this through June. It's like I said, I've got like 9 people, quote unquote, on the team. It's like, well, I've also got CRJ Pumpkin, who's like at South Dakota School of Mines. He's helping do a lot of the stream overlays. Randy's already working on some coding stuff like for stats, as well as he's toying with, if you'll ever watch like RLCS, they have specific stream overlays where it's not just your basic in-game overlay, it's actually customized. He's playing with that, and potentially in the future we might have our own custom API, which you never know how it goes. But again, you talk about connecting and networking. It's really nice to have a computer coder, in your back pocket. It's nice to have a person like, Simi, who did like, the 3D logo like you guys have seen in our streams and stuff. It's like all this stuff that one person can't do and or just doesn't know how to do. You got to network, and yeah, it's been insane. Or like Hype Chamber is another thing too. We've got Greeks working on that. I know Stewie tried. It's just nice to have people. Trey says it's nice to have Greek. It is nice to have Greek, especially as a freshman, like to know that you've got people coming back that are as interested and passionate about this, that are going to be here for, after I leave, after Trey leaves. We got people to kind of continue the legacy, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah, that was something that I was super scared about. Like I was like, man, like I know there's like at first it's like, if we don't get passionate people, the team dies with us. But it started to become like you and Trey really stepped up, and I was like, okay, all right,
you're good.
The team is gonna survive. And then life happens, and I left a lot earlier than maybe anticipated. But y'all took over. Y'all got it. And the team's like, that was always so like, it's like, man, I feel like the legacy just, it was all in the fact that there was somebody to transition to. For me, like just being able to have a next generation for the team was so important, because if we didn't, then this community that a bunch of, at the time, outcasts kind of, and just like people who would just play a game in the dark for hours and hours, just like hoping for some sort of competitive play other than just like queuing up in ranked. they wouldn't have this community. So like having that as an option and having it survive another generation is just, that was my, like, that had shifted. Like obviously the goals are always shifting for like when you're running this kind of thing, but that was kind of the end goal. It was like, okay, it just can't die with me. It's got to keep going.
Yeah, I get that, and it's like, it's really cool for me, you know, specifically. It's like all this work that we're putting, you know, Trey, Greek, and I being the leaders, everything we're doing is to grow it and be as successful as possible, which, you know, I think is on the surface, like, yeah, no duh, like obviously that's what you're trying to do, but it's also doing it in a way that it can be passed on, because like I said, eventually Trey's gonna leave, eventually I'm gonna leave, and there's so much stuff that we have done building it up that, you know, you gotta pass it on to someone, so that we have so many freshmen, or now going to be sophomores, that have stepped up and, you know, are part of this group. And again, it sounds cheesy, but it's kind of a family. It's a community. I don't think a lot of other clubs will do things like, you know, we've gone skiing. We've done like random Denny's at 3 a.m. We've got in just a couple weeks, we have a NDCU Lake Day where I'm actually hosting next to my house. Just boats, jet skis, tubes, you know, the wakeboard, everything. It's just anyone who's in the Twin Cities or anyone in the club, just come, let's hang out, just cater some food and drink and just enjoy it. Just, even though it's all based off a video game, you know, it's not what the video game is about. It's just about this community. We just so happen to all play a game.
Yeah. Well, and somebody had like asked me, like, because I took like Rocket League so seriously, and somebody was like, well, why do you take it so seriously? It's just a game. Like, to an extent, yeah, it's just a game, but like also Rocket League's got me through some serious shit. Rocket League, the way it's developed for me, it's become like an important part of my life, which is almost unfathomable to think. It's like, oh, it's just a video game. Well, sure, but that video game helped me meet some of the best friends I've had, helped me figure out how to like grow up and like actually be an adult, how to network.
Kyle, I was gonna say, Kyle, do you even later with a wife and kids to still get an interview with this club that you joined and made?
Yeah, and then junior video games are turning people violent, people in question. I mean, like honestly, like, well, I think like just like, man, it was also funny to like just like tangent to see like before COVID, people were like, oh well, if you play too much video games, it's an addiction, and you guys, they're like mental health issues now, like that's a mental health issue. And then once COVID hit and everybody had to isolate, it's like, actually playing video games and like having a community is really smart and really good for your mental health. It's like, maybe before classifying that as a mental health issue and like claiming that all these people are like brain dead morons and dregs to society, maybe you should have talked to one of these people who actually like help foster a community online. Like it's like it's just so stupid sometimes. But like, yeah, like this game, it's crazy how much it's kind of like, it's like just, you know, you're just hitting a soccer ball with a car, but like it's so much, it's become so much more than that, and it has made this community, and it's I don't know, it's so sentimental and something that we'll look back on like when we're like 15. It's like, that guy, you know, I was really a part of that. Like we really ran that. Like that was insane. We really made this community. We really brought all these people together who didn't have anywhere to go, or who just didn't know what they wanted to do, or maybe they would have like had fun at college if they didn't join a club like this. It's crazy to think that like, oh, just joining a Rocket League playing club would like make somebody want to stay at college. Well, in all reality, that kind of is the case sometimes. Like if you don't like have something to tether you to the university, you might not stay there. Like there'd be no point. But like if you have this, it's like, you know, this is a reason for me to stay going at NDSU. Whereas like I might have, it may be better for me to like go to a community college. Well, like sure, it still might be, but like how about just try joining the club and be like being a part of something bigger and figuring out how to network. And just, it's super cool to see like everybody who's part of this is going to be able to look back and see like, man, all of this happened because some people wanted some free merch from the university on the backs of that they were playing a video game. Like, that's how it started. And to see how it's like developed, it's like, it's so much more important than the original goal. And then it's not just a video game. It's like, it's so much more than that. It's an experience at this point for us.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to quantify. I mean, I can't think of how many times that I'll hop on this game and it's like 11 o'clock at night and you had a shitty day and you're just like, I don't know what to do. I just kind of usually hop on Rocket League about this time of the night. You know, I'm just kind of sitting here. And then you go to the Discord and there's 19 people in voice chat and you're just like, oh, this could be fun. And you hop in. I think it's impossible not to have a good time when it's just a bunch of guys doing six-mans going crazy. Like, I think Greek specifically has one of the coolest stories of him. You know, he's like saw the email, he joined the Discord, he saw a bunch of people in voice chat, he hopped in, and he says that that's what did it for him. Is it was just that community, that everyone just laughing their asses off and just being idiots, playing a car soccer game that, you know, he's also put in a lot of hours, and it's just like the instant connection with so many people is it's special. I mean, it's like me coming from someone who's been on God knows how many soccer teams throughout the year. Even at NDSU, you know, I've been on the soccer team for 6 years. It's different. It's not the same. There's something special. You know, I think a lot of it is like deep talks. You know, it's like if you're in a regular club or just in sports, you're on the field, you're practicing, you're not having heart to hearts with a lot of guys, but I can tell you I've had a lot of hearts with a lot of guys in this club, and just it's just different. You know, when you're all just college guys going through the same thing, you're all playing a video game, there's just something special about it. And I think unless you're a part of it, it really is hard to quantify, but it truly is special. And I think myself and everyone out there is just very grateful for what you and the Twins did, you know, the work you put in, the groundwork, because this would not be possible unless you guys did that. You know, you made the step forward, even if you didn't have an idea, even if it was as scuffed as it was. You know, the fact is you made it happen, and that's, you know, you're kind of the grandfather of all of NDSU Rocket League.
Yeah, I know. Before I was leaving the school, that's kind of what I was like thinking. I was like, man, like it's literally just because like we made this. Like would you and Trey have made the team? You guys probably never would have met if the team wasn't a thing.
Oh,
there
never.
just wouldn't have been a conceivable world for either of you guys to have interacted before, and like Trey wouldn't have mellowed out. You'd have still been this like soccer player who's just, oh, you know, like I'm just better than everyone. But like no, like you guys just, you guys never would have met. There's so many people on the team, nobody would have met if we didn't like make it. And we were like, oh man, like we really want this, like we really want this stuff, because like, you know, the green Nikes are pretty sick. But then it was like, okay, now we've got like actual people who are interested in playing this game for real. Let's like step it up, because I think this is something that we can do. And to just like to just have that as just like just college really is just this time to experiment with things you might enjoy, and to just get involved, like especially if you're just like in the dorms, you have the meal plan, you're not like, just full send on like commit to something. Like we committed to like trying to make that work, and it did. Not everything you're going to do does, but if you're in kind of like you're already just at college, you've risked all that you have just being there, you're not risking anything else just by fully sending it into the team. And just it's so cool. It's just, there's not words that can describe just the feeling of like, man, I can't believe we actually started it, because it was such a meme for a long time. And then like you guys like made it real, and we were like, oh man, we're gonna hang on to your coattails. We'll do whatever we need to do for the university. You guys just like do the in-team stuff, and I'm just glad to be a participant. And now it's just, I mean, it's just so cool. That's all I can say, because it's like, cool does not come close to measuring what it feels like to just be in this situation.
We're gonna do 2 more questions for you, and then we'll probably call it. First one is gonna be from Hemingway himself. What do you look forward to most about DCRO LAN? Assuming you are coming.
Yeah. It'll be cool if, like, I'll have to talk to my wife about it for sure. But like, if we are able to make that work, it would be so cool to be able to show her, and like, hey, we started this in room 240 in Reed Hall. Like that. We started this as freshmen in our dorm room, and to see where this has come, that'll just be so cool. It'll be a bittersweet, and I'm sure there'll be sentimental tears. It's I just look forward to, even if I can't be there, just like seeing pictures and like videos and just things, just the fact that it's happening, and the fact that the university is now obligated to like run the LAN or like to at least staff portions of like the LAN. It's just crazy. It feels like it's the most important thing I think that I've been a part of, because it's just like it feels so weird that it's so important, but like at the same time, like this is like, everybody about this is so passionate. Like this is so cool, and to think that like none of this framework was in place in 2017. But it is now. Like it's just what it is in 2022. It's expected. It's gonna happen. Like it's just so fucking dope. Oh my goodness. That's what I look forward to most about LAN. Like if it can be there, like giving everybody a hug from the team, like getting to see everybody. Like we've come a long way since awkward meetups in Cater Hall and going to beat-ups occasionally after a season recap, and like it's come a long way, and to actually see you guys host the LAN with other schools involved is gonna be sick.
Yeah, ooh, got me tearing up a little bit here. But last question, and then I'll let you go. Is what would you say to incoming freshmen looking to join, but they're nervous, they're scared, they're new to college, it's a new club. What would you say to them to join?
It's very low commitment, and just try. Like there's gonna be people you vibe with, there's gonna be people you don't vibe with. That's just the nature of life. But if you just try and see, like, even if you don't love Rocket League, there's people on the team who play other games than Rocket League. Like, it's just a community of people who happen to play this game. A lot of people are a lot more passionate about playing Rocket League individually than you will be. But if you even like just play it, like just join one of the nights that people play 6-mans and just try it out. See if you like, if you vibe with the people, if you're having fun just screwing around or just having fun, or you love the competitive side of things. There really is something for everybody with Rocket League just in the game. And even if, yeah, like I said, even if you don't like the game that much, there's so many good people that you'll vibe with one of them. Like, there's so many different people on this team that never would have met if it weren't for, like, we all just being a part of this team. You're going to vibe with someone, And if you don't, then I mean, it's not committal. Like it's low committal. You can just leave the Discord and you're done. You know, like there's zero risk to it. Other than like, if you don't like it, maybe a couple hours wasted, max. Like, just try it out. You know, it's not for everybody, but at the same time, it's also for everyone. Like, it's fun. Just try it out.
Well, Sladehunt, I don't know if we could cap it off any better. I think this interview has been my favorite Crossbar Conversations I've ever had. You definitely have a way to pull on those heartstrings. So I think those communicating classes definitely worked out well for you. But before I let you go, do you have any last things to say to the world before we let you go?
I'm just floored. Like this community is great. It's something I never could have imagined when we made it as a meme. And now it's become so important, and to like even see how much it's changed in my own head, and how it's like, wow, it was really a meme. This is huge. This is deep. Like, we're all just a bunch of friends. Like, you can really like talk about life with these guys, and you're going through life with these guys. To be able to see that, it's just to be a part of it, it's just so sick. I mean, man, there aren't words that are going to be able to encapsulate it. It's so sentimental being a part of the group and being able to see it grow from a perspective where I'm not leading the team anymore. But to still be welcomed and to still be a part of it in like the capacity of a college dropout, being able to see it, like, this is sick. Like, it's fun to be here. It's fun to see where it's gone. And, I mean, just love the community. I love you guys. Even though I'm like in and out, like you'll see me here and there. Life happens. And, at the end of the day, like, we're all going to have amazing memories to look back on.
Well, Slade, I appreciate you, coming on for this interview. I definitely think it's special. I definitely think, going through chat, I think you touched a lot of guys. And again, I just, from the bottom of my heart, can't say thank you enough for everything you've done so far. So we will let you go. I know you've got a wife, you've got a kid, but thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And hopefully we will see you in chat, and hopefully see you at LAN.
Yeah, you'll see me in chat. I still got my subscription from day one. And yeah, I will do everything in my power to make it to LAN. That would be awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you again so much for joining us. Wish you the best of luck with your wife and kid and everything. Hope family is going to continue to do well, and enjoy the rest of your night. Take care.
Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only president, which honestly was probably the most special conversation I've had in a very long time. Hunter, Slade, whatever I call him, is you can tell, one of the most caring people that has really put in work, and really, it's cool to show the fruit of his labor. And so everything we've done is all because of him. So you guys can obviously thank him, and hopefully he will make it to LAN, and you guys can thank him in person. I know I definitely would love nothing more than that at this point, but appreciate everyone who has, come out and watched tonight. Sometimes you turn on a camera and sometimes some magic happens. So just appreciate the support, and stick around, you guys, because we've got, some more fun announcements coming up. I know we've got our next in-house tournament, which is going to be Rumble. Sign-up's probably going up tonight or tomorrow, as well as we've got our NDC Rocket League Lake Day, which is going to be July 9th. So make sure to check the events tab in the Discord for that one. But that is going to do it for us tonight. So appreciate, again, everyone who has come out, and just appreciate everyone. You can only say appreciate so many times, but seriously, you guys have made something special, and I'm just glad to be a part of it. So wish everyone the best of night, and we will see you guys around.